Welcome to 409's Data Dump, a monthly podcast offering technology bites for the business owner. Today is our inaugural podcast launch, and I'm so excited to be here. So let's get started. By way of some background, I'm Sarah Crum, managing partner of SKC & Co. CPAs, and I'm one of the shareholders of 409 Solutions. 409 was a spinoff from a service line that we've offered since 2019. Now its own company, 409 Solutions provides technology solutions to small and medium-sized businesses in the areas of dashboard creation, process automation, and software integration. So let's welcome our first guest, Ryan Warnet, president of 409 Solutions. Welcome, Ryan.
Thanks for having me, Sarah. I'm excited to launch this.
I'm super excited as well, and I know the rest of your team is, and we'll meet them in some upcoming episodes. But this episode right now is all about meeting you, Ryan, as the president of 409 and getting to know you. So we're going to ask some personal questions and kind of dig a little deeper under the surface before we get into some fun technology things. Sound good?
That sounds good to me.
Great. So let's start with some of the basics. Where were you born?
So I'm from Northern New Jersey. I was born Valley Hospital. Um, Grew up North Jersey, went to college in Pennsylvania and came right back. So I've been Northern New Jersey area pretty much my whole life.
Very cool. I've worked with you for years, and I didn't know we were born in the same hospital.
Yeah.
How about siblings?
I have one brother. And he actually just had a baby recently. We're recording this in September of 24. So I've been an uncle for almost 3 months now, and it's been great.
One of your more favorite jobs, huh?
Oh yeah, definitely.
How about hobbies? What kind of hobbies do you have?
So I'm big into sports. I play in a men's basketball league. I like to golf when I can, and I'm big into football. So now the football season just started. That's pretty much how I spend all day on Sundays. Big Cowboys fan, born and raised. So mom, dad, they grew up Cowboys fans, and they raised me and my brother to be Cowboys fans, and it's definitely a big part within our family for sure.
I don't know how that computes if you're in North Jersey your whole life, but
You get some backlash, but you get used to it.
yeah, I guess so after all this time, right? How about sharing with us one fact that few people might know about you?
So it actually kind of ties into the name of the company. So what most people don't know is I was born on April 9th, which is 409 at 4:09 a.m. In room 409 of Valley Hospital that we were talking about before. So definitely an interesting thing about me, and it's a weird coincidence, but most people don't know that because why would they?
Right. I feel like we need proof of that. We need to see your birth certificate at the very least to verify the time.
I have that proof. I actually spent time looking for proof for the room number, and I couldn't find it. So we're just gonna have to take my parents' word on that one.
That's right. So let's get into a little bit about 409. What do you do at 409 Solutions?
A little bit of everything. So we are a small team, so all three of us, wear multiple hats, pretty much every single day. But I dip my toes into some of the marketing and business development side of things. I do a lot of project management and client servicing. Also, occasionally we'll get into the weeds and work on project work and work on Power BI dashboards and some process automation things. So it's hard to say what I do from day to day because it varies, but that's what makes it interesting for me. It's not just you get to work and you do the same thing over and over again. Each day is a new adventure, and just kind of take it head on, and it's what's fun for me.
So I can relate, right? Being the managing partner, I wear a lot of hats, as you know, and I think you can relate as the president of 409 Solutions. It's kind of the same thing. Somebody asked me over the weekend, what's a normal day like for me? And I said, well, I can't really answer that because it could be X, it could be Y, it could be Z, it could be all of them, it could be none of them, right? It really sort of just depends on if there's a fire to put out that day, if there's something exciting happening in the client side of things, or if there's an emergency, internally with anybody on your team, it's really hard to predict. And I can certainly see you going through that same thing.
Yeah, and it's even hard to predict what the next day is going to look like. So many times it's you show up, and as the day goes on, you end up doing something completely different than what you actually thought you were going to do or what you had scheduled, and you just adjust and adapt and you move on.
Right. Welcome to being an entrepreneur and running a company. I'm sure many of our listeners can relate to that as well. So tell me a little bit of how you got to 409, right? I said earlier in the introduction that it was a spinoff of one of SKC's service lines that you started. So kind of walk us through the journey of how 409 came to be mostly on your shoulders.
Yeah, so we were taking webinars and talking about data analytics at SKC when I was first coming out of college. I started at SKC as an intern, and then transitioned to full time as I was doing my grad school to get my master's in accounting. And I really did think starting off that I was going the accounting route, and got my CPA and everything. But as we were taking these webinars and reading about data analytics, it seemed very interesting and seemed a little bit more down my alley than the actual accounting work. And so luckily for me, which I got an opportunity that is very unique, and it's very large in part with Sarah and the opportunity that she gave me. But the partners at SKC let me dive into data analytics and learn as much as possible, and kind of see if it's something that's even worth pursuing, and something that's even possible for us to bring to SKC. And we had the boot camp with a third party to kind of help us put that business model together. And fast forward a few years, and we got the service line to a point where it made sense to split off into our own brand and do a little bit more than what we would be able to do under the branding of a CPA firm. So that's pretty much how we got here. But definitely a unique experience, especially right out of college, within my first year of my career, getting my CPA exam and then almost immediately switching to doing data analysis rather than tax and accounting work. But I'm very thankful. I'm very happy with the switch, and it's been great so far.
Well, we are all very proud that you still got your CPA exam passed and are licensed. And that was, you were committed to that from the beginning, even when you got interested in data analytics. So that is a huge kudos to not gloss over for you. But you were a terrific accountant, and we still, up until I think about a year or so ago, tried to pull you back part-time as much as we could. But
still occasionally I'll get, wait, you can't do a couple tax returns.
But 409 launched into its own company in January of 2023. So ever since then, we've lost you to the data analytics side of things. But it's a good addition, and it's a good service offering to small and medium-sized businesses. So it's great to have a CPA leading that, and we're proud again that it came out of SKC. So let's dive a little bit more into some technology. Are there any specific areas of technology that are of interest to you?
I mean, the dashboarding reporting side is my, I guess, favorite spot to be in. For me, it's very much a creative outlet in a way where you have a specific problem that you're looking to solve for, and you're looking for the best way to represent data and visualize data in a way that you could help solve that problem or identify areas to solve that problem. So really for me, that's my favorite spot to be in, is kind of creating those dashboards and creating visuals for our clients and for our end users, for them to be able to use to make decisions, to improve profit, to grow as a business, to become more efficient, whatever their specific goal is. Really being able to help with getting them the information that they need to make good decisions to get to that goal.
Very cool. Very cool. And it's great to have you with that accounting and that CPA analytical mind behind that piece of it. And just to provide a little color to the audience, the dashboards that Ryan's referring to are created by his team in Power BI, right? And so it sort of aggregates data from multiple sources within a business owner's purview, and gives real-time information to make crucial decisions on the spot. And it varies from financial decisions to people decisions to marketing decisions to sales decisions to inventory decisions, depending on what your dashboard looks like. But that's really the side I think that is so important to have you as that CPA sort of spearheading, Ryan.
Yeah, and the CPA has helped me so much in terms of being able to do those types of things, because really, when you're running a business, everything is tied financially in some way. And really having that good accounting base and going through the CPA and knowing that lane, you really have a much broader sense of how certain specific things like operational things within a business, how those actually affect the financials, and then how does that then affect the future and what your other goals are. And it really all ties in, but having that financial background and that CPA base really, helps me be able to provide more than just, hey, this person's not efficient, let's make them more efficient. Let's make them more efficient because we can become more profitable, or we could take on more work because they'll have more free time, and that'll bring our bottom line up this much, which then we'll be able to make investments, etc.
Terrific. Two-part question. What are you most proud of in your professional career, and what are you most proud of in your personal life?
Ooh.
I know the first part's easy. People always get stumped on the second part.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think for me, the thing that I'm most proud of on the professional side of things is how I did with the CPA exam. So doing it while working full time, really was something that I had to put a lot of effort into, and it took a lot of discipline, which for me, I think that's what makes me most proud of myself for that, where it took so much discipline to be able to take them, pass them all first try, and getting 0.5 points away from averaging a 90 on them all. But
Not that he's counting.
not that last exam didn't bring the average down a little bit. Yeah, I think that was something that I was very proud of being able to really put my mind to something and do it. And I think that's what showed me and helped me throughout, starting 409 is kind of giving myself the confidence to be able to say, if you really want this, which the CPA exam I really did, you'd be able to, with some discipline and hard work, you'll be able to get it done.
Yeah. And that is an amazing accomplishment that you passed all 4 parts on the first try. So I'm so excited that that's what you picked is what you're most proud of on the professional side.
Yeah.
Still my industry. I'm still so passionate about the CPA license and the whole profession. So how about the personal side?
Oh man, personal side's tougher. Yeah, I mean, for me, family is everything. So I think that's what I'm going to go with is, how close that I am with my family and how important they are to me. I have a lot of cousins on both sides of my family. Just being able to, call some of them my best friends and being so close with family members. Obviously my parents, my brother, and kind of the extended family off of that. But really those are my favorite people, and I'm proud that they're my family, and I'm proud of my family, and I'm proud that I've been able to, create such good relationships within my family.
Awesome answer. Very good. Very good. What advice would you give somebody who's starting out with a passion, maybe similar to yours on the data technology side, or maybe completely different, but a passion nonetheless? What advice would you have for that person and how to get started and how to move in a direction?
I say if it is something that you're really passionate about, that you really enjoy, even if it's not necessarily the lane that you may have picked to choose years ago, um, I'd say still go for it. And really the biggest thing with that is to really dedicate time to it and not just half-ass it really. You really want to, when you do find the time to dedicate to that, really put your all into it and not let yourself fall off. And really just keep working, keep trying until it turns into what you're doing every day. It really is something that, like for me, starting the data analytics service line while studying for the CPA exam, while working full time as well, it really was like I had to budget or schedule out every single hour of my day to be able to do the things that I wanted or I had to do. And really that's something that, if it is something that you aren't currently doing and you kind of have to do it on the side, you kind of have to be able to schedule out that time and really be able to sit down and focus on it and learn and enjoy doing it. And when it's something you enjoy doing and you're passionate about, it doesn't feel like it's like work, like, oh, I have a busy day today. It's okay, at this time I get to do this. At this time I get to do this. Um, so I don't really know exactly what my point was there of what the piece of advice was, but
Let me distill it for you.
I guess it's find the time and focus on it.
That's right. That's right. It's planning for your passion and having the discipline to execute the plan. That was what my takeaway was.
There you go.
So, what are you most looking forward to professionally in the year ahead?
I'm looking forward to expanding our team as we grow and as we expand our team. Um, you know, Working with people can be challenging at times, but I do enjoy working with all different types of people, which working with clients in different industries is enjoyable for me. Learning about new people in general is enjoyable for me. So expanding our team is something that I really look forward to in terms of bringing on someone to join the 409 family and getting to know someone and learn how they work and how we could utilize their skills and help them build 409. So that's what I'm looking forward to.
Excellent. All right, some closing questions. Just another little takeaway for the audience. Do you have a particular resource, whether it be a book or a podcast or a website, maybe a course that you took in preparation for launching 409 that you find most valuable that you would recommend?
Uh, I would say a book that I've read a few times that is one of my favorites. It's The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey. That book I've read multiple times. I've written different notes on it. I try to follow it as much as possible. But it really is a good read, even though it's, people in my family kind of make fun of me because a lot of what I read is like self-development type books, but this one specifically is a very easy read, has very, very good values in it. Good stories to portray those values. And that's one book that has helped me mature professionally, personally. It's not necessarily a business book. It's not necessarily, a self-improvement book, but it's something in between. And it's great. So I recommend The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People.
I love that book. And I love the way that you talk about it not being a business book and not being a self-improvement book, but sort of being somewhere in the genre of both and having some overlap and being its own thing as well. I love that book. I've read it multiple times as well. There's whole courses that you could take just about the 7 Habits. So great recommendation. So as a final wrap-up question, since I'm talking to technology folks predominantly when I do these interviews for these podcasts, I had to come up with what I consider to be sort of a nerdy question to close out the podcast with. So if you could have any superpower, what would that superpower be and why?
Would like to be able to fly. I actually wanted to be a pilot when I was real young. I was obsessed with planes. Um, so I think I would like to be able to fly. I think that would be really cool.
Nice. I like it. See, this is what it's all about. It's all about getting to know each other. I love that.
Yeah.
Awesome. Ryan, thank you so much for joining us today for our inaugural launch of this podcast. The rest of your team is going to be coming through the rotation of future podcasts, so we'll get to meet them as well. And then we're going to move into some really exciting technology topics and things that will benefit small business owners and little bite-sized chunks, hopefully. So please look for our launch for this particular podcast. We're going to be dropping new episodes on the 15th of every month. We thank you for joining us today, and we hope to see you in the future.
Thank you so much, Sarah. Looking
Thanks.
forward to the other episodes.
Thanks, Ryan. Me too.